as we navigate uncertainty in our lives and in the world at this time. And that we may use our time together today to open our hearts more fully, to have our feet more present, grounded to the earth, and to be able to listen to the voice of our intuition and our guidance for next steps.
Thank you. So I think the opening of this is absolutely a perfect opening, since we're talking about embracing uncertainty. And you can see what happens when we have certainty. We think technology is going to work for us, and suddenly nothing is working right. And what happens is we often get stressed, like I did in trying to do that and not being able to reach HeatherAsh. And so it's really a good way to start, because you notice how wanting to have things a certain way means two things. One, it's likely not to be what you expected. And two, when things don't meet your expectations, you get stress. And three, it means we go from being present to not present. So I'm just fully so grateful to all of you for showing up today, for taking the time in the middle of your day or the afternoon or evening, depending on where you are, to join us. I'm not going to read a formal bio of HeatherAsh. I want to tell you from my heart who HeatherAsh is, because we've known each other for some years now. And she is, to me, the warrior goddess, and totally a warrior from the heart. And I've just learned so much and been so touched by who she is in the world and the work that she does. For those of you who don't know her, she has written the Warrior Goddess series and many other things, which you can see in the bio. But I'm just really thrilled to do. This is the first time we've actually done a thing together like this, other than of course we did the Shift Network, that was a thing, but we were in separate rooms with that, and here we're together. So HeatherAsh, thank you so much for agreeing to be on the call today.
Absolutely, Michael. It's such a joy to be with you and to be with the community and to be here on this new moon. So planting seeds together that we can grow as we learn how to be with uncertainty. So I'm going to start us off with a thing. Now I don't remember what we called it, Michael.
A thing.
A thing.
It's emergent.
It's an emergent thing. So this will be short, but what I'd like everyone to do is to put one hand on your heart and one hand on your belly. And feel into your body what it feels like when you feel certain around something. When you feel that sense of certainty and I know what's going to happen and I've got this. What does certainty feel like in your body? And I want you to notice that when you have that sense of certainty, it might feel solid or good or comforting or safe in your body. And you also tend to not look around at what else might be coming or what other options or possibilities there are. So just take note of that, of like, this feels good. And let's check in with your relationship with uncertainty. What does uncertainty feel like in your being? So when you're uncertain, when you're unsure, when you don't know, maybe you have a sense of confusion or questioning. What does that feel like in your body? So just noticing how you respond viscerally to uncertainty. Notice where that is in your body. And just be curious. Breathing into that sense of uncertainty. Notice how your body responds. And then go ahead and share in the chat. We'll talk about this in a second, but what do you notice about uncertainty in your body? If you can just share in the chat for a moment, it might be a couple words or a sentence. How does uncertainty feel in your body? And Julie wrote, I don't remember that feeling of certainty. It's been so long. Yeah, powerless. Uncertainty is palpitations, unstable, ungrounded fear, tension, worry, wobbly, tremory, tense, cloudy, strange pains, heaviness, anxiety. And yes, I do have my microphone turned up, so triple check that it worked. Okay, full ballin'. Unsettling, more reactive than responsive, heartburn, feel it in my stomach, restricted and tight. So for most of us, uncertainty brings up tension, fear. We close. Okay, so close your eyes again. Before we go into the teachings, I just want to play with this. One hand on your heart, one hand on your belly. Bringing in that sense of uncertainty again. Noticing the scatteredness, the irritability, the constriction, whatever you're experiencing in your body. And now really bringing your attention to opening your heart to the uncertainty. Just shifting into your heart space. And just say to yourself, I don't know. Breathe. I don't know. And can you soften and open your heart? I don't know. And bring yourself back. So instead of filling in the blanks of what might happen because you're uncertain, I want you to imagine that you're standing in this field of open possibility, this beautiful sky. Love the graphic that we used for this workshop, for this webinar, which was the night sky. So just feel like you're standing in front of complete possibility. I don't know. And there's space in front of you. Good. And then just take a moment again to share. How does that feel? Just as an intro of us starting to shift our attention. I'm going to pass you back to Michael.
Okay, thank you. And HeatherAsh, maybe you could, there's a lot of people that are still locked out for some reason. I'm not sure what happened there. I'm wondering if I should shut down the other computer. That's how I can see everybody, but what do you think?
Oh, whatever works for you, hun.
Yeah.
And people get the recording and they'll figure it out. So hopefully if your team can just email everybody on the list and say, here's the correct link. There was a wrong link that went out. And that's what happened to me and what people were doing. So if you can just tell your team, email this link out to everybody again with a caption that says, correct link, then we should get more people in here. So brave, field of wild flowers, expansive open, suddenly feels freeing, wonder, exciting, spacious, hope, good, I love this, possibilities, I couldn't get in until now. Hi, Ginny. So those of you that are just joining, we're so glad you're here. Apologies if there was some confusion. Options up, options open up, exciting, good, Beautiful. Yes. So this is what we're going to play with today around this idea of embracing uncertainty, is rewiring our system so that instead of facing uncertainty with fear, trepidation, what I call disaster mind, which our mind then, I don't know what's going to happen, so I'm going to think of all the terrible things that could happen, right? Or I don't know what's going to happen, so I'm going to worry about what happened in the past and make myself totally crazy about that. So we either tend to past, future in a negative way. And what we want to share with you today is you can actually fall in love with uncertainty. And when that happens, when you embrace uncertainty, magic opens up, because suddenly you're standing in this portal of possibility. Uncertainty means possibility. And we've been trained, you're safe if things are certain. And that's somewhat true, honestly. It's also incredibly limiting, because if you know what's going to happen, nothing ever changes. We're never stretched into the new.
Also, if you know what's going to happen, you're going to be in your ideal of what's going to happen. And I think that's one of the things that really robs us of the possibility of being fully present. We want to be in our ideal life, which means we're not where we are. We want to be with the ideal partner, and that's not who we have. So we're not even with the other people, because we have a good partner. They're okay, but they're the ideal partner. And that keeps us from being in the present, in our body, here and now. And as Ash says, in the possibilities, the infinite potentiality. I think one of the other areas we might want to talk about a little bit, Ash, is the area of the myth of separation, because these ideals and these things that we use, the perfection, you know, if we have a perfect way that it should be, anything that we're doing, and it's got to end up this way, not only does it cause stress, anxiety, and overwhelm, but it doesn't allow us to that field of potentiality that you're talking about. So I think it's really important to look and see how much, you know, presence is always here, but mostly we're not. Mostly we're in that place of wanting it to be some other way, or as soon as I get this to happen, then life will be good. As soon as I win the lottery, as soon as I get the right partner, as soon as I get rid of the wrong partner, as soon as I get the house. We're always in a place of becoming. And even on the spiritual journey, we look at awakening as a place to get to. Well, the only place you're ever going to be is here now. You're either going to be there in the present or you're not. So this idea that awakening is somewhere else other than now, no, it's here in this body with these emotions, with these thoughts. And one of the areas that we've been working a lot in lately, the last 3 or 4 years actually, is the area of trauma, and recognizing how much when we meditate, when we journey, we get to this, we want to have this place of being centered and still, and we have this ideal of what it would like if I had the perfect meditation. And I'm here and I'm meditating and I'm sitting, and all of a sudden things start popping up. And we think, oh, there's something wrong. I'm meditating wrong. There's something wrong. That's kind of the fallback in this needing certainty. Something's wrong with me. Something's wrong with it. Something's wrong with life. Something's wrong with them. Something's wrong that needs to be fixed. And I think one of the things that helps people to get into that place of embracing uncertainty is to recognize that there is absolutely nothing wrong. And many of us have traumas, dissociations, soul loss from the past, which has been frozen in us. You know, in the present right now, you and I have both the present, the past, and the future. right now, in this moment, we're carrying our past. That's called that's called karma. It's frozen parts of ourselves that come from the past that we haven't owned or opened to or integrated into the field that we are of being. The same with the future. The future that's now, the future is now. It's not someplace else. It's not a linear direction that we're going in. The Greeks have a wonderful sense of time, which is nonlinear. They have chronos, which is the linear time, but kairos is another kind of time. It's the time that's right, this time now, the time to pick the fruit. And when we can get in that place of kairos time, we can lean into an emergent future. So change doesn't happen from our fixing something or changing something. Real change happens from our being with things as they are, which allows the conditions to emerge for the emergent future whose time is right to come forth. And so we can really stop trying to fix ourselves or fix someone else and actually tune in. Then we will step into what HeatherAsh was talking about, that field of potentiality. I'll pass it over to you, HeatherAsh.
I love that, Michael. Thank you. Yeah, a while ago, many years ago, I was navigating this thing of uncertainty. And my life at that time was super uncertain, where it had felt really stable before. And the vision that came to me was this feeling sense of being up high and taking a step into the infinite, into the unknown. I had a vision, I had a dream of this. And that the moment my foot went, that there'd be something there to catch it. And that absolute trust of stepping into infinity and stepping into the unknown and taking the next step and trusting something would meet me. And that vision changed my life, because I recognized what I had done in the past was, I'll only take a step if I know it's going to happen and I'm safe and I do it right. Okay. Like that had always been in my consciousness, even though I took lots of steps. I took lots of action in my life. There was always this place of, what if I do it wrong? Or what if it doesn't work out? Or what if somebody doesn't like the step I'm taking? And to be able to peel those layers away out of our psyche so that we're able to be fully present in this moment and take that step going, I don't know what's going to happen, but I'm willing to partner with the universe. I'm willing to co-create this experience. What starts to shift in our being is that we realize, instead of I am separate and I have to get it right and figure it out, we realize I'm part of a much larger dance. And my connection to my own authentic creativity and my sense of wonder and awe of what's going to happen next is what's going to guide me forward. And so we come back into right relationship with uncertainty. Uncertainty becomes this incredible gift, because that means anything can change at any moment. And we can hold that as, oh my God, that's terrifying. Or we can hold that as, thank goodness. There's incredible possibility in every moment. And we need that more than ever right now. We need more humans online that are saying, I don't know what's going to happen, but I'm willing to open to the miracle. I'm willing to open to the magic. I'm willing to open to the possibility. The more of us that can come online holding that, I believe the more that the divine intelligence that moves through all of us can then help us know what our next place is, what that next step is, what that gift is that we're here to offer.
That's beautiful. I love that. I love that you bring up connection, because it's it's really so much a part of it. And again, going back to the myth of separation, the lie of separation, it truly is a lie. Quantum physics has shown what the mystics and shamans and medicine people have said for ages, that everything affects everything else. But let's look at the whole idea of connection. First of all, starting with the body, our body is our instrument. We belong because we are here. We were born here. This crazy notion that I don't belong is a story that happened from some trauma, some way we dissociated. But we belong and we are connected, but we have numbed ourselves. So much of the journey of embracing uncertainty is about literally being in our body. I came out of the corporate world. I got to tell you, it's the most disembodied place you'll ever find. People, I used to say I work with heads on sticks. The only reason they have bodies is to get to the next meeting. So we have to rehabilitate our sense of being embodied, and to people say, I'm so stressed with what's happening. I'm so overwhelmed with what's happening. Well, what is stress? We don't really define stress. It's just this amorphous thing. Like I say, I'm sick. And what does that mean? I have stage 4 cancer, or I have a cold. When we talk about being stressed, we're saying something is too much, that I haven't got the capacity to hold right now what's happening. So we use meditation, journey, contemplation, prayer to increase our capacity to hold what's actually happening. And so that allows us to connect more deeply with our physicality, with our body. I'm here, I'm in a body. And the more we can be precise about what's happening in the body, precision is really important to develop presence. What's actually going on in my body right now? Is tingling. There's a feeling of soft fuzzy in my heart. There's there's pain and there's numb. And we allow those things, we zoom in on them. We zoom ourselves into the body and we say, this is what's going on right now. This is actually what's going on. I'm not in the ideal body. I'm in the one that's got these gurgles or this little bulge here or whatever. So we bring ourselves into our body with our breath, and then we notice, oh, I'm connected to my body. But am I connected to my emotions? One of the things of the COVID experience right now is that people are emotionally numb. They're just, it's too much. Again, it's a lack of capacity. So I really developed my ability to, what am I feeling right now? Am I feeling fear? Am I feeling anger? Am I feeling sadness, shame, joy? What's happening right now in my body? Can I feel that? Maybe I'm numb. Great. If I'm numb, at least I know I'm numb. So embrace that, because that's the intelligence of the nervous system that said, this is too much. You got to shut that part down right now. You got to dissociate. You got to move away from that. So I really cultivate that experience from my body to my emotions. And then I notice the mind, and I want to, slow things down a little bit and notice how much my mind is not here. And I bring myself back. So I connect with myself. But then, I still am like a self-encapsulated ego, a body in a world of bodies. But then I connect, and everything we know, we learned out of connection. So when I connect with someone, all the stuff that I wasn't dealing with will come up. My ability to feel my emotions are the fabric of connection. Can I feel your emotions? Can I see you seeing me, feeling me, right? Even on the screen here. So we really rehabilitate our ability to connect, and then connecting to the family, and connecting to nature, and connecting to the world. with this kind of precision that says, I'm here now. This is what's happening right now. So I'll turn it back over to you, HeatherAsh.
And that place of I'm here right now. And the truth is, we never know what's going to happen next.
Yeah.
We don't. And the more we can let go of that illusion of I'm in some sort of control, I know what's happening, I know what's supposed to happen, the more that we are able to then show up in the present in that place of creative exploration and wonder and awe at what's going to drop in, what's going to show up. I have a friend named Mindy Odlin. She wrote a book called What If Up? And the whole premise of the book is what most of us do is, what if this bad thing happens? I don't like all the what ifs that we normally do. And her response was, what if it gets even better? What if miracles occur? What if? And that is the dance we want to be in with uncertainty, is one, to acknowledge we're actually not in control. We never have been. Any place that we thought we were was absolutely just an illusion. Now, my friend Ginny.
Ash, let me interrupt you for just 1 second.
Yeah.
Your earring is hitting.
I was just wondering if I was doing it. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
My friend Ginny shares, like, the only thing you actually have control of is what you put on in the morning. And I think that's a good thing to remember. Like, yes, you have control of that. And then the rest of it, okay. You do have control over how you respond. And how do we retrain ourselves, really being in relationship with uncertainty? We want to train ourselves that, one, we're not in control. And that's great, actually. And two, our relationship with that infinite possibility is what we can keep putting our attention towards. That one, we are infinite possibility. Our being is infinite possibility. That in any moment, we can choose where we're going to put our attention. If we're in a place of certainty, there's just one place that we put our attention, because I'm certain this is the right or the only way. But the moment you step out of that, you come back into the present moment, suddenly there's 360. You can go any direction based on what's happening or what's not happening. And for some people that can feel really overwhelming, of like, there's too many choices. Right? And when you're dropped into your center, what my experience has been is the more that I show up in the present moment, knowing that everything is uncertain and shifting, the more I can then listen to what's the best path in this moment, which is coming from the heart, which is coming from the gut, which is coming from my spirit, rather than from the head. And the head's like, there's only one right choice. Which one do I pick? Right? And if I take the wrong choice, I'm screwed. I'm going to be abandoned. Nobody's going to love me any longer. The world's going to end. Okay, stress. The result is stress. So how do you know how you are in relationship to uncertainty? If you're calm and open as things unfold, then that's a good sign. And if there's stress and tension and worry, then that's a sign as well. And to not then beat yourself up or punish yourself. Like, I should be fine with uncertainty. There's days I am not fine with uncertainty. I do not like uncertainty. It's not okay. And I have my temper tantrum and talk to the universe. This is not okay. We need more certainty here. And then usually I laugh at myself because I know, all right, sweetie, what do you need? What do I need to support that part of myself that just wants to know and do it right, which is my refrain. And all of us have different refrains, right? If I just knew the right thing to do, or if people just, behaved the way they were supposed to behave. We all have some sort of refrain that keeps us from really being in direct relationship with uncertainty. So what's your refrain? What comes up of how you think the universe should be different, or you should be different, or the other person should be different? What's your refrain? You can share on the chat. Yeah. We all are practicing. It's so true that we are all here for a reason, to learn and practice raising our vibration and achieve higher consciousness. Yep. Banaz, beautiful. Kat, acknowledge that what you are certain about is not necessarily true. Yeah, my mentor, Don Miguel Ruiz, would always say to us, be skeptical, but learn to listen. And that's a beautiful way to be in relationship with life. And that skeptical is just, I don't know, let's continue to be present, but listen. Yeah. I want to do it right, so I'm not doing enough, worry about doing it wrong. Yeah, and all of those things keep us out of that direct relationship with learning how to access our own creativity, our own intuition, our own sense of connection with the divine, that deep listening. So that's what we get to practice over and over again. I really believe that's innate inside of us. If you watch little kids and animals, little kids are in infinite possibility. Animals are in present infinite possibility. Humans, we forget. But we can learn. Yeah, Claire, I will be destroyed if I'm truly seen. So these thought patterns that come up, that are from trauma in the past, that are from our family lineage getting passed down, that are from what we call the dream of the planet, which is the energy of how humans are dreaming right now, those get caught in our bodies, those old agreements. And our work so much is to lovingly bring them up and start to untangle and pull the energy out of them. And as we pull the energy out, we come back into our true nature. Remember, you're not fixing something that's broken. You are not broken. What we're all doing is letting go of what we learned. We're unlearning so that we can come back into the present. So it's not about, I need to add more things. I just saw this beautiful quote from, let me see if I can remember the name. But it was, if you want knowledge, add one new thing every day. If you want wisdom, remove one thing every day.
Brilliant.
Right?
That's great. Just want to add one piece to the other side of the we can respond. And normally we react instead of respond. And that's information too. So one of the things that for me is really the pathway to deepening presence and growth in terms of spiritual growth is to catch ourselves when we're reacting and to notice that's information. I have to be right, or I just shut down, and to really explore that, because that's a rich area of data to look at. Also, we can go into the reaction when we catch ourselves. There are numerous levels of catching ourselves. First, we can catch ourselves and saying, oh, I just said something so that I'd look good or be liked, because we're always in this dance between, if you've ever looked at attachment theory, we're in this dance. The dance is attachment or authenticity, attachment or authenticity. Which one will it be? Guess which one will win hands down? It's not authenticity, it's attachment. Because we have these early things, like when a parent said something and we made a decision about ourselves that something was wrong with us, we can't make it about our caregiver, because that would deny our existence almost. So we always are looking for that sense of attachment, but we can develop that by looking at the way we react. What age is this reaction that I'm saying this so this person will like me, or think I'm smart enough, or think I'm good enough, or think I'm lovable? Of course, that's information that all those things where we don't feel we're lovable, we don't think we're smart enough, we don't think we're good enough, all of that. So we can mine that for deeper presence, greater capacity to hold more, and allow ourselves to integrate those unintegrated parts of ourselves from our past, the frozen parts of ourselves that were dissociated by an intelligent nervous system at a time when something was again too much. And so there's no like, it's always now. So right now, if I notice that, then another level of it after I notice it, and to create connection, to go back to the thing of connection, I could say, Maureen, I just noticed that I said that because I wanted you to like me. And I'm just noting that in myself because I do that a lot. And, I wanted to share it with you because I felt like you might think that, and it's true. What does that happen? Maureen and I are suddenly closer when we do that. We have bonded in a way, and we have created safety. And one of the reasons we have an issue with uncertainty is it doesn't feel safe because anything could happen. And so how do we nurture ourselves to create safety, to have a sense of safety? Because we have something to say in the matter of safety. And expanding our ability to be present and look and ask, is this story I'm telling about myself right now, is it actually true? Or might it be a wound that needs my love? And if I look at the age and the time, I can take that 5-year-old, my nickname as a child was Mickey. I can put Mickey on my lap and I can say, Mickey, I want you to know that it was really harsh what happened to you back there. But I want you to know that I'm here for you and I love you. And when we can love those parts of ourselves that we've been trying to push down, we integrate those past dissociations, those past traumas, those areas where we didn't feel safe then, and we give ourselves the love. It is not going to come from out in the world. It's going to come from us, and that will allow us to connect with the world.
Yeah, beautiful. And I love this, Jeffrey just wrote, perhaps safety is a matter of realizing the presence of death in every moment and what is our responsibility now.
Yeah.
And that's a deep part of my work with the Toltec path, is about the angel of death. There's nothing like being in really close relationship to the angel of death. And in the Toltec world, we imagine that she's walking just behind our left shoulder, and that at any time she'll take you back, or she'll take something else back. And that's just true, really, in our relationship with life and death. And instead of fearing death, or fearing uncertainty, or fearing abandonment, or fearing loss, or fearing discomfort, that we learn to get more resilient and present with, there's going to be discomfort. There's going to be death. There's going to be not knowing.
Or fearing fear.
Yeah, or fearing fear.
That's another big one.
A great thing to do.
St. Francis said it so beautifully. It's in dying to self that we are born to eternal life. Wonderful
Yes.
prayer of St. Francis. That's been a meditative prayer of mine for years, but it's really true that when we're in these stories, we're not here. We're not alive. We're zombies. So when we can really awaken to that and presence ourselves, no matter what's happening, it's exactly what should be happening. We can be grateful for what we see, and we can be grateful for what we can't see, because it's as my teacher Thomas Hubel says, there are childhood friends, these traumas, these things that happen. They protected us. That's what the nervous system does. And these are like emotional and mental and physical mental and emotional cuts. If you cut your finger, it's going to heal. You just give it air and it naturally heals. But if you pick at it like this, it's not going to heal. It's going to get infected and it's going to fall off. It's the same way with your essence. We were born into original goodness. We are original goodness. This original sin thing is St. Augustine's great myth to control people. It's not. We were born into essential goodness, and the only barrier to that is those areas that we haven't integrated into our present self. And looking at the time, Ash, do we just, we talked about doing a little journey or meditation here, but I so want to hear from people. I'm thinking maybe just opening it up for Q&A. What do you think?
Yeah, sounds good. We can always send a journey visualization later.
Yeah, we can do that. And in fact, we are going to do that. We're going to talk towards the end about some meditations that we're going to put out for you over the next couple of weeks, and another opportunity that we're doing a little masterclass together. So, I just really like hearing from you and connecting, and I know Ash does too, because that's what brings us alive. That's why we do what we do. So what's coming up for you in this? You have any questions or any but or anything personally that this makes a lot more sense when you bring it into your life. As information, it's useless, but as something, as a practice for your life, that makes a difference. So if you have something, you can raise your hand. Where's the hand raising here? Oh, it's over on this side. Yeah, you can go to your name and to it's weird. I don't see the hand raising option. Do you?
Yeah, it's there. It's on the right-hand side. You probably can't see it because you're a host.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Raise my hand. Okay, good. So Wendy has her hand up. Is that right, Wendy Rollins? Did you have your hand up? Oh, you were reaching for something, huh? Okay. Okay. So that works too. Okay, we have a couple people here. Let's start with Lisa B. And just let me unmute you. There. Lisa B, you there?
Yes, I am. Thank you so much. I hope that you can hear me well.
Hi, Lisa. Yeah, can we see you too?
I can. Just give me just a second.
Yeah, there you are.
Thank
Hi.
you. For me, I'm starting a new career during this time, and usually I meet face-to-face with my clients, and so it's just a little bit off-putting and uncomfortable to make these first approaches, either traditionally through a phone call or through an email. It's just not as warm and open and inviting, if you will. So it's just, I feel myself hesitating and get in like that tightness and feeling, okay, where does the comfort come in and how do I relieve this when normally I'm so comfortable at what I do?
Well, let me say something, and then Ash, we'll just go back and forth and do that. So first of all, who told you should be comfortable? Oops, you're muted again. Sorry. How did that happen? Can you unmute yourself, Lisa?
Yeah, I think nobody's able to unmute themselves. And if you mute yourself again, then you get locked out. So you get to do it all.
Okay. You there or no? Am
No,
I?
still muted.
This is weird. Okay, now I'm asking you to unmute. Can you unmute?
There we go.
There, I think we got it. Who
Good.
told me I have to feel comfortable? I guess it's something that I'm used to being, is comfortable.
Yeah, yeah. So I wonder how comfortable a caterpillar is on its way out of the cocoon to become a butterfly.
Not at all.
Not very, hey? So, this is really an important issue here to be able to, I'm not saying put yourself in uncomfortable positions, but I strongly believe in most of my times of real growth have been when I've been able to at least lean into the discomfort, because it's a vast storehouse of our frozen history, our past, the things that are driving us. It also completely denies uncertainty. If you're comfortable, you're looking for it to be a way that you expect it to be. So
True.
that is not being in uncertainty. But it's kind of like, can I just lean into that? I can't go any further than this, but I can kind of feel tingly in that, and my stomach's a little upset, but it's not quite so bad as I thought. Really, maybe I'll just lean a little further into it.
That makes good sense.
Yeah,
I can
yeah,
feel that. I can feel that.
yeah. That's beautiful. Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much, Lisa.
I appreciate you.
Ash, you want to add anything to that?
No, I think that was perfect. Absolutely. Of like, just be with the discomfort and see what else there is to learn
Yeah.
from a place. Especially, this is so beautiful, especially in a place where you're used to feeling comfortable. It's so exciting actually to be like, oh my God, I'm not comfortable. Okay, this is good. Because you're going to learn, you're going to deepen something inside of yourself. You're going to learn something, you're going to stretch. So Patricia wrote, how do we free our body from frozen trauma? I still feel the rigor mortis setting into my husband's body. So I'll just share really briefly. I know that Michael has a lot to share around trauma, that there's ways that we can rewire. And I'm going to just talk about one level in relationship to when there's a frozen picture of an experience that you've had. So what we do in a way, our mind wants certainty, and it likes to hold on to particular pictures, and it often will grab traumatic pictures to hold that then get frozen in our body as well. The experience is frozen in our body, and the picture is frozen in our body. And one thing that I found really helpful is to pick a different picture and then bring that energy into my body. And so as you scan your relationships, so this was in my relationship with my dad. When my dad died, I had a really frozen moment of when I didn't go say goodbye. And there was regret, and there was like, I should have done it differently. And I realized this is going to be my memory of my dad, is my own regret. And I'm the only person that can change that. And so I picked another time in my relationship with my father, and I started energizing that over and over again, of a place where I felt connected and loved. And then I would take that energy and bring it into my body, so that that was the memory that then stuck, because I'd taken the energy away from the old story, put it into the new picture, taken the energy away from that trauma and chosen to put it. So that's one level. There's a lot of other somatic movement, but I found that to be incredibly helpful in the field of what your mind and your body hook to, that you can actually shift it consciously.
Beautiful. Yeah, trauma is a break in being. It's an intelligent response to an overwhelming situation. And most of the traumas that we experience are really recreations of earlier traumas that happen in the first 5 to 7 years. And there's different kinds of trauma too. There's a trauma of a 3-year-old or a 5-year-old, and there's a trauma of a teenager. And so it's important to really, again, being precise about the experience that comes up when you get knocked off your feet somehow, that you have this recognition that something is stuck. you know, that my nervous system shut down at some place. I can't feel in this area. I I don't do well with money or with men or women, or, you know, it's a soul loss situation. And all it is if you go back again to the essential goodness, the original goodness that brought us in here to our soul's journey. We're all here on a journey, and something interrupted that journey, and we're carrying it as a weight, as a burden that sucks our energy, our vital energy to really be self-expressed. So the first thing is to really be present and oh, there's something going on. You know, I keep first of all, it might be I keep having these fears that come up. Somebody I was working with this morning had fears of a monster under the bed, but it was still coming up at a later age. You know, well, that fear never got attended to. And again, in that whole area of early development, attachment or authenticity, we take the attachment, and we don't want to say no to the person that says something that, you know, we don't want to correct our caregivers. Maybe we do, but at an early age, we don't do that. And so that gets stuck in us. These are stuck energy, frozen. I sometimes liken it to when Ash has heard me tell this before. It's like if you buy a chicken, right, and you put it, you're not going to have it for dinner tonight. You put it in the freezer, you freeze the chicken, right? So it takes a lot of energy to freeze the chicken. Then it takes a lot of energy to keep it frozen. You got to keep freezing the chicken. So what for me trauma work is defrosting the chickens. There's a lot of frozen chickens that we carry around. So those things that happen by an intelligent nervous system, we can integrate. You can't get rid of them. The more you try to get rid of the trauma reactions that you have, the more stuck they get. Because if you're only in the moment and you're saying, you know, I've got to change this, what are you saying? You're saying this is here, this moment. Well, there's nothing else but this moment. So the more I try to change something, the more it remains stuck. But no, I open to the chicken and I say, oh, cute little chicken, you know, you were really scared then. And you know, your father said, don't be scared, don't be a sissy, you know, and you went, oh, well, I'm not supposed to be scared, but I'm scared. Well, frozen chicken, got to keep it down. I can't be scared. You know, then another, you know, chicken comes along, says, you have to be pretty. You need to be pretty, you know, clean up and put a dress on. You want to be pretty. People won't love you if you're not pretty. Whoop, frozen chicken. There it is, you know. So what am I going to do? I'm going to love that little 3-year-old, 5-year-old, 7-year-old. I'm going to put her on my lap, put him on my lap, and I'm going to say, and HeatherAsh is so good at this. She says, it's okay, sweetheart. She's talking to herself. She's always calling herself sweetheart. It's so wonderful. You know, if we could just all call ourselves sweetheart, and say, you know, that time when your father said that there's nothing to be scared, but you were really scared, it's okay. And I know what it's like to be scared. So I want you to know that I'm here to take care of you, and I love you. And that was really good that you shut down because it was just too much. And then by just loving that, you integrate the energy of love and you begin to thaw the chicken out. So there's my chicken story.
Thaw the chickens. All about thawing the chickens. And Michael wrote, how do you find those chickens if they are well hidden and disguised? Here's the thing, sweethearts, is that you don't have to go looking for those frozen chickens. They're going to show up. Like I always remind people, you don't have to go out looking for the obstacles. The obstacles are coming to you. And the obstacles are the inner obstacles. And so if you live your life and you're paying attention, they'll come up when they're ready to be unfrozen.
Yeah. And meditation and contemplation and prayer actually allows you create more space for them
Space.
to
Yeah.
exist, and they come up. And then we say, oh, I had a bad meditation. No, you had a great meditation. You brought that stuff, those chickens up, and now you can deal with them. So that's a real misguided perception of, oh, I'm going to meditate and I'm going to be in nirvana and everything's going to be fine. And no, it can get really nasty in there. Yeah, we got some more people here. Shall I call on Stacy? Stacia?
Can you hear me?
I can, thank you. Am I saying your name right, Stacia?
Stacia.
Stacia, thank you.
Stacia. Yeah.
Stacia.
Wow. I'm thrilled you called on me. It's amazing how the unknown really does work, like what we're talking about. And I have been a practitioner at healing arts for many, many, many years. And during COVID-19, a lot of quiet time, a lot of time alone. So meditation and yoga and all that. And man, things started happening and I was doing great. And then I started obviously melting. I love the chicken melting piece. But this morning, I was in so much pain. For one thing, something happened to my left foot and I can't walk. And I haven't been able to for a while. So I'm like, okay, left foot. I go into all my little, well, this means that, and that means this, all the old learning. I love that we talked about like, let those go, let those go, let those go. And I just had a meltdown this morning and I bawled and I bawled and I bawled. And I finally called a friend to say, hey, I'm really losing it here. And I know I'm supposed to have my shit together, but I don't. And I don't know what to do. And I'm not going to work. And I'm not going to, I sounded like a little kid, which was awesome for me to recognize. But here's the piece that came after a very horrible, harsh trauma happened in my home when I was a little girl. And I've worked with it my whole life, but I know I'm back here to her. And the adult cognitive brain of mine is like, yep, got it. Da, 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 da. But one of the things I'm recognizing on this conversation with hearing everybody and just feeling what you're saying is how much I've been covering up. And like noticing having an extra glass of wine at night, or I can hardly wait to get home and not see anybody and I'm going to eat a big dinner or whatever it is. All my cover-ups, and man, they are here and they are strong. And so in the melting and loving the little one, and I appreciate every word both of you have said about this. I also want to take care of the adult me who's making choices that just aren't the best. I mean, I'm really getting stuck in it and I'm scared. Yeah. I feel fear right now.
I have lots to say, but Ash, you want to go say something first?
Yeah, well, first, just thank you, Stacia, for sharing and for the vulnerability. And we have to remember that it's such a gift when we finally start facing the amount of energy it's taken to hold everything down.
Yeah, wow.
Right? And it starts popping up and that we can't keep it, like, yes. So to celebrate that. And I know your brain's like, what's wrong with me? I should be able to hold, like you said, but to be like, okay, now I can turn and face this and do this in a different way. And it's going to change everything. You're going to have freedom. And so to celebrate this moment, there can be fear, of course, but that you're now ready to do the healing. It's time. And you're held. There's many, many people that are going through this. I cannot tell you how many people I've talked to that are like, I'm losing my shit. I had it all together. And I'm like, yes, finally. There's enough uncertainty But all the stuff that we've worked our way through and eaten our way through and meditated our way through, right? I got this. I'm spiritual. I'm holy, right? No,
Yes.
yeah, let's let it come up so that we can actually heal it, and that we're together doing this, and that if we can stop playing the game of I should have it all together and be really spiritually calm and really kind to everyone and loving to myself and all beings, and then everything will be good. We can just go, I want to heal more than anything. I want my freedom more than anything. Then
Yes.
we're willing to go through the rough parts. And we'll find the community and the people and the guidance to hold our hand. And you want those people that have been through hell, you know, and that are willing to go into the dark, mucky places and go, keep going, sweetheart, you got this.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
Beautiful. Thank you, HeatherAsh. That's perfect. Perfect. Yeah, this whole I have to have my shit together. Anytime you hear yourself saying that, I'm an adult, I need to have my shit together here. It's like, no, can I actually love myself not having my shit together? Could I actually love that person that doesn't have her shit together? Because it's just coming up to, do that. And this thing about, the adult child thing, to have a healthy adult is to have a healthy childhood. And as I can't remember who it was said it, maybe Jack Cornfield, it's never too late to have a happy childhood. Because what causes the trauma is not the event that happens. This is really important. You can say, my mother did this, my father did this, my grandfather, whatever. You can say that has nothing to do with the incident that happened. It has everything to do with the decisions that you made about life and yourself at that time. So the recording doesn't record, evidence for this. Have you got any brothers or sisters?
Oh, 3 brothers, 3 sisters.
3 brothers, 3 sisters. Perfect. You're the perfect person to say this to. So you'll be sitting at the table and saying, remember that time that blah, 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 and this and that. And then half the family will go, that didn't ever happen.
Yeah.
That didn't happen like that. No, it happened that way to you, and it shaped you as an adult who was supposed to have their shit together, but doesn't. So we celebrate those parts of us that are so-called flawed, because that's how we touch into our soul. Those, I'm reminded of some weavers, particularly in indigenous tribes, that they always put a mistake in the weaving, or painters or artists that do that to show the imperfection that's perfect. And so those so-called imperfections we have, they're not in the way, they are the way. Yeah, beautiful. Thank you.
So beautiful. Thank you.
Lovely.
Thank all of you.
Oh, Miss Tina. Let's have Tina. I'm asking you to unmute.
Okay, can you hear me?
I can hear you. Hi, Tina.
Okay, great. And HeatherAsh, this is for when you were talking about the Toltec and death behind, walking behind. This is a question I have in relation to that. And when our grandson was last visiting us for a week, he's 6. He was afraid to be in a room by himself the whole week. And that's not typical of him. Usually he wants to be with us, but he was just afraid to go and be in by himself in any room in our home, which he's been in many times. And at night, the first night, he had such a hard time and going to sleep, which is also unusual. And I know it's COVID related, but still, when I went up to take him to bed, we were talking and I stayed with him quite a while. And he said, Nana, I can't go to sleep. I can't. And he said, it's my thoughts. And I said, well, are you willing to share with me? And he said, no, I can't. It pains me. It just pains me too much. And I said, baby, Nana can handle it. You know, I can handle it. You can share with me. So finally he did. And he said, it's death. And I mean, I just said, well, I think about death too. I think about death too, sweetheart. And I don't know what would you advise for in caring for a 6-year-old? Because I know if you told his parents that, and I love my son and my daughter-in-law so much, but they are allopathic medicine people, and they would say to him, it's, you know, don't worry about it, pretty much.
Yeah.
How can I handle that in a way that is helpful for him?
Yeah, beautiful. Well, just first, you know, such a gift that you were able to hold space and be patient and give him the opportunity to come to you with what his fear is. And, you know, what I felt when you were sharing is to be able to say, okay, honey, I have a secret that we can talk about. And not everybody can talk about this. Like, a lot of people are really scared about this. And to talk to him about death in a really, like, yes, things die. And we can be afraid of that, or we can use that to really love everything that we have. No, and I know I don't have kids, but talking to other people that have kids, I've heard there's a phase kids go through where they start really being afraid of death. And adults, this happens to adults as well, obviously. And so to really do like you're doing, which is listen deeply to him and share and talk. And you might even be able to introduce this idea of the angel of death, and that she's not cruel or mean, that everything changes. So that's one thing. The other thing I would say is I'm sure there's some brilliant books about death for kids.
Okay, great.
Like, go find those and bring, like, when he's at your house, say, let's talk about this. Let's read. Yeah. Because obviously he's being impacted by everyone's fear of death.
Yes.
Right?
Including ours.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Thank you. That's very helpful. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
That's beautiful. Thanks. I think what you said is perfect. And there are some really good books out there about, in fact, one of them is called Talking About Death to Children, or something almost exactly like that. So yeah, there's a lot more we could say. We're getting close to the end, and we have a gift for you, a special offer. Ash, do you want to talk about it a little bit and start off the conversation? What we're doing?
Yes. So we are, as we were talking, we were like, ooh, new moon, full moon, energy's building. And we wanted to really offer a way for us as a community to stay together and to have different meditations that we do every couple days. So we're going to be releasing those. And I'm going to share, and we also have a class coming up on the full moon. But I want to share my screen really quick. Oh, which I can't do because I'm not a host. Darn.
Oh, wait, I made you a host.
You made somebody else a host. Some other.
I thought I changed that.
I'm so hurt that you just think all Heathers are the same. No, I'm kidding. So.
I don't even see you on the list anymore.
I'm invisible.
Oh, you're up in the co-host section up here.
Nope, I'm still just a person.
Okay.
I can rename myself, but that's all the powers I have. Yes. Okay, I have powers now. Okay. Here we go. So let me just share. Superpowers. So what we're exploring is this idea. Let me do this other one. 1 second. Boop. That there are 5 portals of possibility. So some of you have asked, like, how do I do this? How do I shift from being afraid of uncertainty or being wanting to stay safe or wanting to stay small, and how do I start to open up into possibility? So what we've been exploring is that there's these 5 different portals: presencing, opening, we will send this to you, witnessing, nourishing, and embracing. So what we're going to be doing, yay, there they are. What we're going to be doing is releasing a little bitty meditation every few days on these different portals to help you to settle into, how do I step into presencing? How do I open? How do I learn to witness? How do I really nourish self? And then that final one, how do I really embrace uncertainty? So we'll be guiding you through those. And Michael, do you want to share a little bit about your 3?
Sure. So actually, in my Way of the Mystic course, this is the foundation of them, is presencing, witnessing, and embracing. So a lot of that I've talked about behind what I was saying, but presencing is the first step, and it's, you know, there are some people here who are in the advanced class. They've heard me talk about this forever, and it's really one of those conversations that goes on forever, because it means you're zooming in on the moment, on what's happening right now. And that area of precision I'm talking about, we're expanding our ability to look inward, to really presence not only what's going on around us, but our expansive interiority, and how to create greater capacity to meet the challenges of the time, how to tap into the innate wisdom that our ancestors for hundreds of thousands of years have developed, that's here in our body right now. So that's the first step in that, is to really presence and learn what I call presencing ourselves moment to moment to moment. When we do that, and those of you who have a regular meditative practice know this place, I'm sure, we recognize, we go, well, wait a minute, I'm watching myself, but who's watching myself? What is this? Am I 2 people? And you realize that there's this quality of witnessing that isn't the story, that isn't what's going on. It's a higher ability. It's like bringing a light down and shining on it. And so I can witness and not be hooked, you know, by the things that come up. And so we really develop that area of witnessing. And then when we get in touch with the chickens that are frozen or whatever we're bringing up, then we embrace whatever is arising, and we allow ourselves and learn to fully embrace those things that we want to push away all the time. So that's a short example, but I'll do some meditations on each of those, and we'll send you the information on that and post that. And then Ash, you have 2, and then we have the masterclass.
So my 2 are going to be opening and nourishing. So what I've seen is that a lot of us can get really like fixated, pushing, trying to force to make things happen. And so this idea of learning how to open to everything. We tend to collapse and want to close. So I'll be talking, we'll be experiencing, how do you open rather than close? How do you learn to open to everything? And also then, how do you nourish yourself? This is such a vital skill to help us with the presencing and the witnessing, with all of it. And the embracing is that we are learning, what does this being need now? How do I nourish myself for the long term? So we'll explore together the difference between short-term nourishment, which is, I just want to feel better right now, which is a glass of wine, or the 8th cup of coffee, or the frozen cake in the middle of the night, like whatever, right? I just want to feel better right now, versus I want to be sustainable in my capacity, and how do I nourish myself for the long run? Okay? So we're excited to share these meditations with all of you, and that will then lead into, and whether you join us or not, we would love you to join us for a masterclass that we're doing. Here's the flyer, and we'll be sending this to you again as well. Boop, there's the portals. And here's the masterclass. So it'll be on the full moon. Yay! And what we'll do together is use these meditations to help us prepare for the masterclass and for a 3-hour deep dive. So we'll have double the time that we had today, minus the tech issues. Yay! Oh, maybe, right? It's uncertain, but
uncertain.
but to really go in with each other and to look at how do we use this idea of the sword of truth and grounded presence to connect with our wisdom and our resilience. So we're going to be talking about, again, more about possibility thinking, how to do that, how to open versus implode. So something I've been really exploring is this idea of using everything to explode our heart open more rather than to implode, armor, protect. How to strengthen true authentic manifestation and self-expansion. Michael's going to talk a lot more about relationship and the importance of being in relationship in order to dissolve that lie of separation. This is all relationships. And we'll also talk about how to integrate past trauma. So I know that's been a question for some people as well. And the importance of that, of being able to hold those traumas in such a way that we create more freedom for ourselves rather than using against. So here is the date is Tuesday, September 1st, 9 a.m. Pacific. So go again for 3 hours, 6 p.m. over in England on Europe. And there's the link. So I'm going to share the link. It's $75 for that 3 hours. I'm going to share the link with everyone. Boop. And we'll send you more info as well.
Yeah, and please share it with your friends. We love to have you participate with us. Another thing is, if you don't know about it, most of you are on the list, you know that I'm doing this Saturday a meditation retreat, which you can just go to welloflight.com if you haven't already seen something on it. And we'd love to have you join it. It's a lot of our advanced students will be there. It'll be a deep dive into the principles of mystical meditation. It's not relaxation meditation, it's mystical, meaning as a mystic, everything it's not like putting ourselves in a cave somewhere and getting away from life. It's really about having life be our teacher. And that's the work we're doing. And that's what Ash and I will be doing. And I'm particularly excited about the idea of going from the new moon, the dark, into the flowering of your fullness, that opportunity to really like feel your essential goodness, your original goodness, and have an experience of being your soul's journey, not getting to it, not trying to find it, but actually living your soul's journey, what you're here for. And so that's a lot to happen in 3 hours, but we will give you a very good taste of it. And there'll be a lot of exercises and journeys and meditations. And we're definitely going to take this to another level. And we will send out this that you can share with people, and send out both the flyers and also the times that we'll be broadcasting the 5 portals that we did that. So anything else, Ash, that as we come to a close here?
Just much gratitude to each of you for joining us in this journey of life and being willing to share your vulnerability and your strengths and your courage and your yay, all of it. So I'm so grateful to you, Michael, for inviting me in to your world in so many different ways. It's just been such a gift to get to partner with you.
It is a gift, and I'm grateful, really deeply grateful to, all I learned from you and just the love that pours out of you. And each of you, I'm really, that you're obviously people who are on a path of fulfillment and the fullest self-expression and to stand in your soul's journey. And that's needed at this time. It's so important at this time of, it's not just COVID. We've got so many things right now with climate change, economic disparity, fascist governments, right-wing takeovers. There, we could go on and we'd be numb listening to all the things. But what really needs to happen is we were born in this time for this time. It's important to remember that. You were born in this time for this time. So who will you be in the face of what's unfolding in the world? And that's the question I'd love for you to explore between now and 2 weeks from now when we do the next show. So just much love to each of you, many blessings, and please write us, stay in touch, let us know what's happening. We love to feel the connection with you, the community. So to all. Bye
Thank
for now.
you.
I'm going to unmute everybody so you can all say goodbye here. If I can, let's see, how do I unmute everyone?
Oh, I can do it.
You
Look,
can do it.
I have the power.
You have the power. There you go.
Bye.
Bye,
Bye,
everybody.
everyone.
Thank
Take
you.
care.
Bye.
Always
Bye.
thank you.
Bye.
Bye. Blessings.
Bye.
Bye.
Much
I love that.
love.
Much love.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye, sweetheart.
Bye.
Bye. Mwah.
Oh,
Remember, you are love.
All right.
that was cool.